Alright, so in today's video we're going to be tackling the age-old question of next gen versus new gen, which is better. In today's video I'm going to be showing you which version of FIFA 23 you should be playing and the differences between each version. Guys, if you are going to enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like on it and you make sure you subscribe to the channel. A lot of you guys that do watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the video and see what's better. For cheap FIFA 23 coins, make sure to check out MMOEXP.com to get fast and reliable coins, and make sure you use code VIPER at checkout, get yourself a 5% discount. Alright guys, so now you're going to be watching gameplay from next gen version of FIFA 23. I'm going to go over all the things that I believe are wrong with FIFA 23 on the next gen versions. That will be PS5 and then the Xbox Series X, I want to say. I don't have an Xbox, I haven't had an Xbox in years, so I don't know what version of the game is the next gen version over there. But with that being said, guys, I've played over 200 games of next gen and over like 300 games of old gen. I'm pretty confident in what I'm about to say to you guys. So with that being said, guys, let's talk about the issues with next gen. So first of all, we're going to be starting off with hypermotion technology and the subcategories of that. So what hypermotion technology is going to do, it's going to give you extra animations, and what that's going to do in game for you is extra touches, more lethargic passes, longer times to take shots, longer times to pass. And those are the things that make it a really bad in-game gameplay experience, because the delay isn't actually via the server, it's via the game and the mechanics they have put into the game that are making you struggle a little bit more to find the right passes, to shoot correctly, to defend correctly, to pass out from the back correctly. These are all things that have been put into the game on next gen via EA with the hypermotion technology. It's exactly the same in FIFA 22, but in this year it's a lot more easy to tell. And some of you guys will go into games and you're like, why has that pass gone there? Why has that pass decided to do that? Why has he shot so late? Why is he taking that extra touch when I didn't ask for it? A lot of that comes down to the hypermotion technology. Of course then, if you factor in server lag and input delay via the servers of FIFA every single year, EA have not been able to fix the server issues, and sometimes it can be your internet as well. You have to take that into account. But this is going to cause even more of an issue. The game doesn't feel snappy on next gen anyway. It's really hard to get good counterattacks. It's really hard to even start a counterattack full stop because of how hard it is to dribble, because of how hard it is to turn. These are all things that are issues with hypermotion as well. But the dribbling is literally non-existent on next gen version of FIFA, and I can't stress to you how different that is on old gen. But the server lag really does create another issue for you guys within the next gen version, and you cannot solve this. EA are not going to patch the hypermotion. It's supposed to be one of their innovations, so they're not going to fix this at all, ever. If they did want to fix this, they would have fixed it last year when hypermotion was first introduced. And now, guys, we're going to move on to issue number 2, and I think this is even more of an issue than the hypermotion technology, and that is going to be the accelerate. Now, I like this at the start of the game, but as we've developed into more of the higher skill, and I've gone into the elite division, and we're playing at the higher divisions, and we're playing FUT champs, I found a lot of issues with the accelerate stuff. Of course, it's meant to be in the game to help provide the ability to use Vlahovic, to use Haaland, to use that new Arnautovic, and very strong, tall, fast players, right, that are not meant to be good on FIFA most years. They've tried to implement this, and it's a new innovation via EA to try and help them players be good. And whilst it does help them be good, they are literally the only players you can use. If you don't have lengthy players in your back line, if you don't have lengthy players in your midfield, and you don't have at least one lengthy player in your attack, you are going to suffer because you are using explosive or controlled players. And I want to talk about explosive and controlled later on in this video, because it's really important to talk about that, as it's really broken. But the lengthy players are king on this game, more so in the defence and midfield than the attack. But they are really broken, and it's created a divide in the FIFA community that if you play on old gen, if you can't afford a next gen console, for example, or you don't want to upgrade yet, we're not experiencing the same game at the same time, which means player reviews, if you're not reviewing on both versions of the game, some players are getting left out, right? So if you're just going to do old gen reviews, new gen players are going to get left out, and if you're only going to do new gen reviews, old gen players are going to get left out, and that's not very fair, because EA are implementing different mechanics onto the new gen game, which changed the gameplay experience massively. And I also want to stress as well that I do like the fact that players like Ruben Diaz, like Casemiro, Rodri are all usable cards now on FIFA, but I do not like the fact that this is the meta and the only meta you can really go by. Now, as we go a little bit more in depth with the accelerate stuff, you guys are going to have to understand that explosive and controlled players are absolutely useless, more so explosive on FIFA 23 next gen, because they are actually so slow. Players like Sorloth are genuinely faster than the likes of Mbappe, than the likes of Vinicius Jr., And Vinicius Jr. is a great example of a player that should feel like the fastest card on the game, but he genuinely feels like 75 pace. You know, he feels quick straight away, and he slows down to snail's pace after that, and it's really, really disappointing because it's so different on old gen. I will try and show that, guys, as we're going to move into some old gen gameplay now. It's literally impossible to beat a man on next gen with an explosive player unless you get very lucky with a bubble or the hypermotion technology working in your favour. The way EA need to fix this is to allow the explosive players to have a sprint boost like they used to in every other FIFA and like they do on FIFA 23 on the old gen version of the game. As we move over to old gen, guys, you're going to be able to see that the game's a lot more responsive, a lot more arcadey, due to the fact it doesn't have the hypermotion technology or the accelerate. Also, accelerate looked good at the start because we weren't really considering the effects it had on explosive players and controlled players. It really has created an insane divide between the two versions of the game, where in my personal opinion the old gen version really does succeed in terms of the snappy passes, skill moves, speed, pace, defending manually, being an all-round better game. The only thing you're really sacrificing over here is the graphics. And I understand why people don't want to sacrifice their graphics. But in terms of a more enjoyable gameplay experience, old gen is a lot better due to the fact it doesn't have them things and feels more arcadey, which a football game should feel whilst it is a video game, in my personal opinion. And it's not only that as well, like things like being able to see your opponent's team you can do on old gen. And for some reason on new gen, they don't allow you to see the opponent's team. And I think that being able to see your opponent's team is really important because you can exploit a certain area of the team that's weak. Or let's say, for example, you have a winger that has like 80 strength and you know their fullback has like 75 strength. That is an area you can attack. Or if one of your wide players is really good in the air, with like 95 jumping, for example, and your fullback you're up against has like 75 jumping and it's quite short, you know that's going to be an area you can exploit, and you can do that from the first minute of the game. Now, I want to be very clear as well that I am not saying that the game does not have issues on both generations, but I think the game with the less errors is the old gen version. Next gen has too much going on, it's got too much to try and catch up with, and it has too many animations in the game for it to be a consistently good game. And whilst the old gen version certainly isn't a consistently good game, it feels a lot more responsive, and I'm going to show you that right now, guys. Alright guys, so what you're looking at now is a comparison in the practice arena between PS4 and PS5 versions of FIFA 23. And before I put up on the screen which is which, I want you guys to comment down below right now to which one you think is old gen and which one you think is new gen. But you can see a massive difference, can't you? You know, it's absolutely insane how different the left stick dribbling is on new gen to old gen. It's absolutely clear as day how much worse it is on new gen compared to old gen. And you're going to be able to see, guys, that it really does make a difference, you know. If you don't have good dribbling, then you're just not, there's no need to have players that have good dribbling on the new gen version. Guys, at the end of the day, it is your opinion and your decision what you want to do and what version you want to play. Now, I'm not going to say that the next gen version is a complete write-off, because it isn't. There are just a lot more issues with that version of the game, in my experience, than on the old gen version. And if you're used to playing FIFA the way it has been for so many years, other than the last two, old gen FIFA is going to be the one for you. Yes, the graphics are worse. Yes, it's not as realistic. But on the new gen version, there are just too many glitches and issues right now, and too many meta things that are ruining the game a bit too much for my liking to have it as an enjoyable experience. You know, there are a few other issues that I haven't talked about, with the natural AI dropping back straight away on the new gen version. You know, it's just so hard to break oppositions down unless you're doing their Trivela shots, which are really broken as well, and they're broken on both versions of the game. But as I said, guys, at the end of the day, it's up to you. Whatever version you want to play more, that's on you. But those are my opinions on why I'm playing old gen over new gen right now, guys. And I've played a lot of the game on both versions, and I've settled on the old gen version. But guys, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a video. But guys, that's going to be it from me for now, so take care.